You are Locked On Dodgers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome. Hold on. Wow. Sorry about that. Start again. Welcome to the Dodger Postcast. I am Pete Fox. Thanks for watching us on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel and listening on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. Dodgers with a relatively tight 6-4 win. Nice little battle there right at the end of the game from Marte with Daniel Hudson, who was once again dominant. Like to see that. Like to hear things like 21 Ks versus just one walk for Daniel Hudson. That is pure and utter dominance and breeds nothing but confidence for you as a Dodger fan. I've been covering sports in LA dating back to 2007 for ESPN LA and NBC Sports Radio. So I am familiar with the landscape of Los Angeles, and it feels strange to say, but this season is both dragging along and flying by. I was surprised to learn that we are 50 games into the season right now with the Dodgers 33 up and 17 down. That is a good place to be. But of course, this whole postcast thing covering almost every game, almost every night is something I have never done. When I worked at ESPN, I was there most nights and I was at the Angels a lot. So it wasn't like I was the beat guy that was there every single night. I was there 2 to 3 nights a week, and then I'd cover the Angels and do other things. And so to be on a beat, if you will, in a job where you cover the team almost every day is a different kind of thing. I thought I was a huge fan until I started this job. I am a huge fan, but I'm not as dedicated as you guys are. So thanks, Craig, Daniel, Mr. Seabad, all the regulars in the chat. You guys are dedicated, and I appreciate that. It makes my job a little easier and a whole lot more fun. 6-4 win tonight. One of the things about this game that was a little scary to me, it is that double-edged sort of home runs producing runs coming in bunches all in the third inning. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 innings of nothing, right? That's not good. It's not bad. They won. Nice to see home runs. Nice to see home runs in bunches. But I would prefer a couple of home runs, maybe 3, and then give me at least another run somewhere else. They did load the bases there in the 8th inning. Thanks to Chris Taylor. How about a round of applause for Chris Taylor with a base hit? Batting average now, 98. Ooh, he's getting there. So close. Not quite to 100. Half the Mendoza line. He's almost to half of the Mendoza line. But that Ciccone guy who gave up the 3 home runs, Torey Lovullo left him in there, and he retired like 12 in a row. He had the Dodgers kind of stymied for a little bit. That was not what you like to see from the standpoint of it felt to me like there was a bit of a foot off the gas, relaxing a little bit. And we're up 6-1. They fell behind 1-0, and then 6 in the third on home runs, 3 home runs. That was nice. It's awesome. It was fun. But when you got 3 home runs, dingers, and more dingers. Well said. That sums it up pretty good, Mr. Seabad. But when you get nothing after that, it feels like, is that because they're just relaxing, taking their foot off the gas, a little complacent? I don't know. Again, it's late May. It's not a bad place to be when you're hitting a lot of home runs, but I would absolutely not want to rely on I would not want to rely on home runs to propel you through the postseason. You have to do all of the things. You got to scratch runs across. You got to be gutty. You got to do everything right. Yeah, you got to hit home runs, and you got to get base hits with runners in scoring position. And no, Nando, You do not have to fire Dave Roberts, but I appreciate your consistency. Diamondback, I don't know that they were a fluke last year. I mean, this is where they were last year. They had 84 wins. So, I mean, they could post 84 again, be the last team into the playoffs and get hot. See, that's the thing. I don't love that the Dodgers have that week off in between because of the wild card. They just sit around. And that's not something I'm a big fan of, but again, I don't know how you combat that. And we're not here to talk about that. Jeff and I will get into that as we get closer to the end of the season, because I really want to have that conversation with him because it's just a tough place to be. Let's look at last year, for example. I know the Rangers were they finished in first and they won the World Series. So it is not a foolproof situation or a foolproof examination, but Dodgers out in the first round, Orioles out in the first round. Who was the other one? Can't think of the fourth one. Was the Phillies? I don't remember who won that other division, but anyway, the point is that all of those divisional winners were out in the first round. Orioles. Help me out, Jeff. I'm sure you remember. Brewers? Braves. Thank you. What does Jeff say? They loaded the bases with no outs. The fact that Freddie Freeman hit the ball over the wall instead of a sac fly or a 3-run double doesn't make it worse. Okay. I'm not following your point there, Jeff. Please elaborate. I don't think I said Freddie Freeman's grand slam was bad in any way, shape, or form. That was exactly what you needed at that point in time. So that was clutch. I need to read that again. They loaded the bases with no outs. The fact that Freddie Freeman hit the ball over the wall instead of a sac fly or a 3-run double doesn't. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. They could have scored a run and rather than a home run. I got you. Yeah, that's fair. And it doesn't take away from, like, there's nothing negative about the home runs. I always try to find the, what's the opposite of the silver lining, the lead lining. I look at it and I say, this was something about this game that made me go, I don't love that. I don't love that. It's not what I would rather. I mean, 3 home runs is great, but I would have liked to have seen a couple more runs. Yeah, they got more hits, but they were out hit in the game by the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks with 10 hits, Dodgers with 9. Still, small discrepancy, but they could have been a little bit more productive after that big 3 home run third inning where they put up 6 runs. So maybe it's just me looking at, the negativity of a positive 6-4 win with an exciting frame where they hit 3 home runs and everyone was jumping out of their seat feeling like, that was a World Series caliber win for them. I just am worried. I'm a little worried. Do they let their foot off the gas when they get up comfortably like that early in the game? Because we've seen it a lot. This is not the first time that we've seen the Dodgers have a big inning and then do nothing for the rest of the game. So it's not the first and it probably won't be the last, but hey, it's a good problem to have. We hit too many home runs and then we lose our intensity. So it could be a whole lot worse. All right. 6-4 win tonight. Dodgers now 33-17, game 50 of the season. Yamamoto, a very, very efficient, solid, dominant outing. We'll get into that a little bit more after the break. We'll also get into the Diamond Dogs list. Thanks for watching. I am Pete Fox. This is the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. And you can listen on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. All right. Tonight's episode of Locked On Dodgers postcast is brought to you by Yahoo Finance. Let's get straight to the point. You want to grow your portfolio to deal with rising costs of inflation, to pay off your debt or your mortgage, pretty much anything standing in the way of you and your financial freedom, right? Well, with Yahoo Finance, you can get access to news, data, tools that you need in order to help reach that financial freedom. When it comes to financial future, you think you've done all the right things. You've saved, you've invested, and you've done the research on purchasing those investments, those stocks, those IRAs, whatever it is. Now you need those investments to take the next step and get to the next level by using whatever financial great uses. It is Yahoo Finance. For more than 25 years, Yahoo Finance has been the brand behind every great investor. And I believe I've been using them for this entire time. I was surprised that it's only been 25 years. I feel like they've been around forever. I know that I type in some of the stock symbols that I've had for a long time, and it still pops up as Yahoo Finance, and it's all organized very nice and neatly there. Whether you're a seasoned investor or looking for those extra guidance, factoids, pieces of information to help you take that next step and grow, Yahoo Finance gives you all the tools you need and the data you need in one place. They are the number one finance destination, producing a holistic look at the financial news cycle, including breaking news, original editorial perspectives, analysis, ratings, independent research, customizable charts, and so much more. Give them a look for a comprehensive financial news and analysis. Visit the brand behind every great investor, yahoofinance.com. That's the number one financial destination, yahoofinance.com, yahoofinance.com. Our Dodgers with a 6-4 win to take the first game of this series against the Diamondbacks. They are now 21 of their last 27 games in the win column for them. The defense was nice. I thought that play in the third from Miggy, the diving stop was very clutch. And then not too far after that, Jason Hayward had a nice sliding catch to end the threat in the third. And that was, it was good. The Dodgers defense has been, I would say, above average. It's been very good, but there have been a few times when we've questioned things about their defensive performance. Mookie Betts has made a few bobbles here and there. Tonight, the bobble was from, I believe it was Chris Taylor kicked one in left field, but guess who backed him up on the very next play? Mookie Betts made a nice play with 2 outs, and then they brought in Randall Grichuk. This was in the 7th inning. A 368 hitter over the last 8 games. They brought him in as a pinch hitter, but Anthony Banda jammed him nice to end the inning. Although that play at first base was a little too tight. Banda fielded the ball, kind of spun around lackadaisically, not in any sort of hurry, half fired it over to first base. And we were like, wait, okay, got him. It was a little too close for comfort. I would have enjoyed a little bit more energy and exuberance, a little bit more intensity, if you will, from Anthony Banda on that play. But he's been good. The thing I like about him is the velocity on a lefty. He's kind of the opposite of Yarbrough. You like to see that because it's not the norm. The lefties are kind of, there's always that description, the adjective of a lefty, for the most part, crafty. That means they don't throw the ball hard. That is Yarbrough. He is a crafty left-hander. But Banda, he brings the heat. That was nice to see. As for Yamamoto, 6 1/3, 100 pitches. The first time he's gotten to 100 pitches, which was nice to see. They let him do that. I appreciated that. He's now 5-1, 6 1/3. He gave up 2 runs on 7 hits while striking out 8, which means Jumbo Jacks, I believe, right? That's pretty cool. I got to go take advantage of that once. I was over Jack in the Box the other day, and they also have a deal going on where it's 2 Jumbo Jacks for $5. And that's nearly impossible to find 2 full-size hamburgers for $5 at a fast food place. They're usually the small ones or they're $17 each or something. Like Chili's has a thing going on right now where they're like, you get a drink, you get an appetizer, you get fries and a burger for $10. And they're like, it's cheaper than fast food. I'm like, you're right, it is. But 2 for $5 at Jack in the Box is a good deal. The problem is you got to use the app. And I'm like, I don't have the app. I'm a Del Taco guy. Anyway, Yamamoto gets Jumbo Jacks for everyone tomorrow. I might go do that tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I'll have to download the app probably, but that's okay. 3.17 is Yamamoto's ERA. Now, I thought, again, the fastball is sneaky good for him. It's not high 90s, but it's 95, 96. The breaking stuff, the cutter, the slider, those things for him were working tonight. And they were talking about him adding another pitch. I don't off the top of my head remember what it is, but he already has 5 pitches that he relies on. So I guess he has added a 6th pitch, and that's nice to see. So he continues to dominate and prove me wrong that his price tag was not quite worth it. So far, so good. Let's hope he keeps it up. I feel very confident on Yamamoto Day that the Dodgers are going to go out and have a very, very good shot at winning if he can get through the first couple innings. The stat they threw out, which I thought was interesting, his first time through the lineup, he has an ERA of around 7. And then second and third times through the lineup, his ERA goes down to around 1, which is usually the inverse of that. The first time through the lineup is when pitchers dominate. And then once the opposition figures him out a little bit later in the game, they get more comfortable and get base hits. So Yamamoto, it's like him getting comfortable and then settling in second and third time through the lineup. He is he's very good, and that's good to see. So he struck out the side in the first inning after giving up a base hit. So it wasn't a clean first inning, but striking out the side in the first is dominant, and it definitely gets you off on the right foot. All right, Dodgers with a 6-4 win. Let's get to the Diamond Dogs list tonight in this big third inning for the Dodgers when they scored 6 times. Kike Hernandez got it started in the bottom of the third with a 401-foot home run, his third of the season. It came on a 3-1 four-seam fastball, and it tied the game for the Dodgers at 1. Then Will Smith, not next, but Will Smith had a home run in the third. It came after Freddie Freeman's grand slam, but he has to be number 1 with the game-changing moment of the game. Will Smith, home run on a 1-2 curveball, 386. It was his 5th home run of the year, 386 feet for Will Smith there, again on a 1-2 curveball. For number 3, Freddie Freeman single in the 8th, the first hit for the Dodgers since that third inning. So they went all the way to the 8th inning without a hit, but Freddie Freeman got one there to load the bases. To set up Chris Taylor, who's number 2 on the list, to load the bases. Nice little base knock over the shortstop in the 8th inning there for Chris Taylor. Loaded the bases, but they would unfortunately, after Andy Pajes hit into a double play, leave them stranded and come away empty there. And for number 1, the decisive moment of the game, Freddie Freeman, a grand slam bomb, 415 feet. It came on a 2-1 fastball. And I don't know that was a smart pitch. You don't throw Freddie Freeman in a hitter's count, a 2-1 fastball. That's what he is sitting on. And obviously he turned and ripped it. His 5th home run of the year. It made it 5-1 Dodgers. As for Ohtani's ticker, his day, not spectacular. He had a single bunt, his first at bat, then a walk, a flight out to left field, and a line drive to first for his 4th at bat, but continues to get on base, continues to keep that average up over 350, now 353, although it's fallen off a bit. Freddie Freeman still trying to get back to 300. He's at 298, but a 464 slugging for him. Mookie's batting 355 after a 1-for-4 day. On base percentage 432 and slugging 546. Ohtani slugging it at 653. Mookie Betts, that single in the third, nice piece of hitting. He did something very, very similar last night. Got lost in the shuffle of my notes and I didn't actually get to it. But the one last night was a high inside fastball, 96 miles an hour, and he got his hands through there and roped it into left. Tonight, it was another high fastball. I believe he took it the other way over the second baseman, which, I love that. I'm a big fan of going with it, but it was a nice piece of hitting that he, again, had to bring his hands in because it was a high fastball and he really needed to get through it and square it up, which was nice to see. So, there's no doubt that this guy is one of the best hitters in the game. And those kind of things, I think we just utterly take for granted when it comes to how good Mookie Betts is at hitting. So he did it last night. He did it tonight, and he just continues to, scratch out 1-2 hits a game. It feels like if he doesn't get 2 hits that he's a little bit slumping, struggling, if you will. And the same is being said about Freddie Freeman. they continue to harp on the fact that Freddie Freeman is not fully locked in yet, that he's still not happy with his swing and not happy with his production. So I don't know if Freeman expects to have a 330 average all the time. And if he does, that's great. But it seems to me like he's, everyone's going to have an off night here or there, except for maybe Shohei Ohtani. But yeah, he seems pretty locked in of late. I don't see that big loopy vertical swing that looks like a golf swing. It seems like he's flattened it out, and he's going with the ball quite frequently, taking it over the shortstop's head. So as far as I'm concerned, I like what I see from Freddie Freeman. Let's see if Ohtani's still leading the league. Yeah, 353 leads the majors in batting average. Salvador Perez batting 341 for the Kansas City Royals is second, and Jurickson Profar of the Padres 339. Mookie Betts fourth in the bigs with a 335 average, and Will Contreras of the Milwaukee Brewers 333. Ranger Suarez still leading all of the major leagues with 8 wins for the Philadelphia Phillies. Tyler Glasnow has dropped down to 4th, tied with Aaron Nola of the Phillies with 6 wins. So hopefully next time out for Glasnow, he'll put up a W and move up that list a little bit. Dodgers with a nice 6-4 win. Things got a little shaky there in the 7th, but they were able to get out of it and preserve the win. We'll break down that 7th inning, and you can share your thoughts on how you felt about that. I'm Pete Fox. This is the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel. And you can listen to us on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed, where you can also hear Jeff and Vince with the Locked On Dodgers postcast, which will be coming at you a little bit later tonight, or at the very latest, first thing in the morning. Thanks for joining me. We'll take that final break and come right back. Tonight's show also brought to you by Policygenius. It's the country's leading online insurance marketplace that saves you time and money so you can provide your family with a financial safety net starting today. Policygenius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for $1 million of coverage. Some options offer same-day approval and avoid unnecessary medical exams. They have no incentive to recommend one insurer over another, so you can just trust their guidance. Check life insurance off your to-do list in no time with Policygenius. Head to policygenius.com/LockedOnMLB or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com/LockedOnMLB. Tonight's show also brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you in many different ways. If you are looking for work, or if you have a small business and you need to find employees, LinkedIn Jobs knows that your success all depends on the team that you surround yourself with. That's why at LinkedIn Jobs, they have created the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and free. It isn't just another job board. LinkedIn has a vast network of more than 1 billion professionals, which makes it the best place to hire, because hiring can be challenging and difficult. Hiring with LinkedIn Jobs is easy when you have that many quality candidates. So easy, in fact, that 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. LinkedIn Jobs also knows that small businesses are wearing so many hats that you might not have all the time necessary to go sifting through all of those resumes. So they have made the process intuitive, quick, and easy. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnMLB. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnMLB. And you can do that for free. Terms and conditions apply. Our Dodgers a 6-4 win, 3 home runs, including a grand slam from Freddie Freeman in the 3rd inning, and got a little scary in the 7th when Carroll had a single, Chris Taylor kicked it, then Mookie Betts made a nice play for 2 outs, and then they brought in Randall Grichuk, who is as they put it, a left-handed dominator or specialist. So he knows how to hit, or feels comfortable hitting left-handers. as a right-handed batter. They made it sound like that was super different and like, oh, this guy's really good at hitting left-handed hitters. Well, isn't that the whole point? Lefty, righty. You put a right-handed guy in there to face a left-handed pitcher, and Banda did a nice job. Got 2 quick strikes on him, and then forced one inside on him and jammed him. Got a little lazy ground ball that he kind of half-assed over to first base, but he got there and took care of what needed to be at that point and stifled the rally. Then the Diamondbacks in the 8th went back-to-back off of Hernandez, Gurriel, and McCarthy. The Dodgers had only given up at that point, prior to those 2 home runs, they had only given up 1 homer in 50 innings. Let's say that one more time. 1 home run have the Dodgers given up in 50 innings prior to back-to-back home runs from Hernandez, but he did get out of it and did not allow anything further beyond that. Gurriel and McCarthy with the back-to-back home runs. So all that tells me is the Dodger pitching staff, especially the bullpen, has been extremely stingy of late. And Daniel Hudson came in and slammed the door and looked very good in that save. We didn't get to see what's his name, that other guy with the wiffle ball, but what's his name? Trinan. We didn't get to see Trinan tonight, but that was okay. He can rest. Daniel Hudson, 2 Ks, the rest zeros in 1 inning. Hernandez gave up the 2 home runs and got out of the inning with no further damage. And Banda 2/3 of an inning when they pulled Yamamoto after 6 1/3. He gave up just 1 hit and the rest zeros. I have one question for you that really has nothing to do with baseball, so maybe you guys can help me with this. Why does John Hartung sit on the right side of the bench, table, counter, whatever the heck you want to call it, set, when they're in the studio, but at the stadium, he sits on the left side of the set? That's weird to me. Anytime you see 3, 4, 5, like in the NBA and the NFL, they have like 19 guys sitting up there. Baseball's a little smaller. They don't quite have that many. For the Dodgers, it's 3 guys. But I understand, like NBA, they all, Ernie sits in the same place, right? Second from the left on TNT. And it's really sad that show is probably going away because the TNT lost the NBA rights to NBC. Hopefully they'll kind of figure out a way to get those guys over to NBC because that show is fantastic. But he always sits in the same place, right? Second from the left. But Hartung's all the way on the right in the studio and all the way on the left at the stadium. I'm like, that's just weird. As an announcer, when you walk into a set or a studio, you generally have a spot, right? You go to the same spot. This is your spot. This is where you are comfortable all of the time. So I was like, why is that? I got to ask him next time I see him because I don't get that. I'm sure they have research and I'm sure they've studied it, right? Like keeps people guessing, I guess. I don't know if they move him around. I don't know. But I thought that was interesting. But all in all, a nice win for the Dodgers. I would have liked to seen a few more hits after that 3rd inning with all the home runs. But the pitching staff did a fantastic job. It was nice to see Freddie Freeman squaring one up there for the grand slam, and the fans did go crazy, and that was also cool. But these I felt like they were a little slow on the uptake there when they showed the replay. Granted, it was slow motion, but I feel like Dodger fans are getting a little spoiled with all the home runs. They don't get terribly fired up anymore when it's early in the game. Obviously, the walk-off yesterday takes you to a new level of excitement, and that was nice to see, the first walk-off of the season for the Dodgers and the first for Shohei Ohtani as well. One final comment here was this: Dodger Stadium looked very dense tonight. Was Taylor Swift in concert at the Rose Bowl? Oh, you guys. CT3 looks like a beer league softball player on that air. He made left, right. He was just, what? Oh, dude. Like he wasn't paying attention. That's what I'm talking about. They hit all those home runs and everyone just kind of went to sleep, both offensively and defensively. Good point there. Yeah. He was just kind of like, oops, I missed it. Sorry. Duh. It's all right. We're up 6. It's fine. Pass me another beer. Well, hopefully he can get that average over 98, triple digits. Wouldn't we all like to see that for Chris Taylor? If he gets a hit to get his average over 100, he will definitely be number 1 on the Diamond Dogs list. Let's run through the lineup and how everyone did real quick to wrap it up here. Again, Mookie was 1 for 4, Ohtani 1 for 3, Freddie Freeman the grand slam, 4 RBIs on the night, 2 for 4, had a hit in the 8th as well. Will Smith 1 for 3 with a homer. Teoscar Hernandez went 1 for 3. His slugging is 468. His batting average 247. Chris Taylor a hit. Andy Pages 0 for, but only 1K. He's rolling along. Nice performance yesterday with the home run. He's batting 256 with a slugging of 436. Jay 0 for, but had a nice defensive play in right field. Kike, his 3rd homer of the season. Other than that, nothing for him. One hit and 1 run scored, 1 RBI. And Miguel Rojas got on base with a base hit as well. He's batting 261, 1 for 3 on the night as the Dodgers win it 6-4 over the Diamondbacks. Game 50 of the season. Dodgers now 33-17, 19-9 at home. And the D-backs are 22-16, 10-13 on the road. That'll do it for us tonight here on the Locked On Dodgers postcast. Talk to you tomorrow after game 2. You can watch us on the Locked On Dodgers or listen to us on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed and watch us on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. Tomorrow, it is Gavin Stone versus Brandon Pfaadt underway at a little after 7, just like tonight. Have a good night. Thanks for joining me. We will talk again tomorrow.